Another one that comes across our table quite often is a return of investment. So, like you just mentioned, we don't like to talk about salary too much because it's a benefit as a whole. So it's really hard to, justify a return of investment. But with the PGC being, £3,250, I'm sure within the first year of you graduating and getting that new position, if we can cut that per month, you can easily get a 3,000 RMB pay increase. If you was on, say, the lowest bronze, you go to a silver, it's very easy to get. Your tuition would be paid within the year.
I was just thinking that it's also the stability that comes with that. It's thinking about, there's been a lot of things happening in China this year. Schools have closed, merged, etc. And you need to look at where you're really planting yourself in terms of an employer, and how stable is your position and your school, and that's going to happen if you're obviously in a more established environment. I
agree. You can actually end up staying in a school for a longer period, growing with the school. We're talking 3, 4, 5 years. I know teachers who have stayed in the same position for 15 years with the PGC, just because of that stability that it does give you. Yeah, no,
definitely. And I think it's difficult because there are circumstances of which teachers, because it's teachers that are your students, that they're still teaching in China, that when you've had to switch schools every year, that might not be your fault. It's the environment, it's circumstances, it's everything else to do with life. But it does raise a massive red flag, and especially at the moment, as soon as you see a CV like that, we have to advocate for you. We have to get more references. It's just more difficult in an environment that's so competitive now. It's just not really what you want on your CV. And the thing is, if you do go to a school where then you're studying your PGCE, it is actually a really good way to get to know other colleagues, because you do have mentors. Sometimes you do have other colleagues that have done the same PGCE, or maybe a PGCE from a different university, and it does kind of integrate you into the staff and to get to know everyone a bit better. And also you are showing that you are invested in your future, your career, and that school. So I know people that have had opportunities presented to them because they've shown willingness to study and improve themselves in education. So there's lots of nuances that come with it. It's not just a piece of paper with, it's a very nice piece of paper with your name on it.
Yeah, well, definitely.
But it's not just that. It means a lot more within the education industry.
That's it. So when the PG students graduate with us, we make sure it is a big deal. We do go all out with graduation. You get your robes, you get your little graduation hat, and it's just a moment that you should remember for the rest of your life, because it is a serious qualification that you should be proud of.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's it. So Rowena, next, I want to talk a little bit about the Masters in Education. So a Masters in Education is 180 credits compared to the 60 credits of the PGCE. It's your next step up. Who would be suitable for a Masters in Education? Because we get a lot of students, once they finish their PGCE, shall they go and join their new position in a school through Told to Teach? Shall they continue on to a Masters in Education? What would be the difference? What teacher or position would require a Masters in Education?
Yeah, so I would say I can comment more about the position, but the teacher themselves, that depends on you.
Correct.
Like, everyone has their own goals, everyone is motivated to study or not, and it depends at what part, what time in your journey. You might do the PGC and want a break for a little bit, and I wouldn't underestimate the importance of practical experience as well. You have to find out where your passion is. And like we discussed, your original background was science.
Yeah, correct.
And teaching that, but you change and you develop, and so that needs to, I think, be taken into account. It's not just about getting boom, I get my.
I tick my list. It's yourself, your personal passion. So when I did the PGC, I was thinking, wow, it really opened up my eyes to education. The reason I did Masters in Education was not a position or extra salary, it was actually personal growth. It was a passion for education that made me do it.
And that's, if you have that, then that's the best way, isn't it? You're excited and you want to do it, and that's the best way that you can go in that route. But what I would say position-wise is then you're looking at the gold tier schools.
Okay.
So Masters in Education or a license. And not only that, is if you want to go into leadership, that's also what most of the schools will look for as a given. So as we spoke about before in a teaching position, now the minimum is a PGCE really, compared to a BA and a TEFL. For a leadership position, minimum really. And again, there are complete exceptions, there's differences that happen, but if you are applying to a new school, a new country, anything like that, the minimum is they expect you to have a Masters in Education plus other leadership qualifications as well.
Yeah.
But it's a step, it's a process, it's one thing at a time. But if you are looking to go in that direction, personal reasons to learn more or to go into leadership, to go into another country, something like that, and to be competitive. I think we touched upon it yesterday a little bit, but the market is so competitive now globally, which you have to stand out, and amongst everything else, which I do appreciate and I do sympathise with the teachers in that regard, there are certain things on a CV that the hiring staff will look for initially. And so a Masters in Education is it does immediately, it makes your CV pop, it makes recruiters, hiring staff in schools just kind of take that extra second to say, okay, this is a really serious person in education, that wants to learn and progress, and that's someone, why wouldn't you want someone like that teaching your children?
100%. So let's talk a little bit more into maybe some of our viewers today might not be from, a foreign background. Maybe they could be Chinese themselves, a bilingual teacher.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the positions that you have for a bilingual teacher who has a PGCE.
Yeah, so that's another shift that we've seen in the market, is that schools are finding it more and more difficult to find the foreign teacher that they would like for certain positions. And I would say more so subject, especially in high school positions, physics, mathematics, for example, and they will choose to hire a Chinese bilingual teacher instead.
Wow.
So we have had more vacancies than I can remember in over 7 years for bilingual teachers this year. And I think it's the way and the direction that the market is going in. But in the same sense, there always needs to be a way to differentiate candidates. And again, by studying a PGCE, you're showing that you're investing in the UK education framework, that you're developing, and that you have an understanding going into an international school, which these are international schools asking for bilingual teachers for other subjects that previously foreign teachers were teaching. You're competing against that. So I am very excited about the bilingual teacher market. I would like to bring them more together rather than being in separation. We're all teachers, we're all
100%,
invested in education and want the best for the students. And I think that as any teacher, regardless of your nationality, it's about progressing and learning and growing and passing that on to the students. So yeah, bilingual teachers, all the same things that we've discussed. The PGCE is extremely valuable.
Yeah, no, 100%. Let's talk a little bit about where can we go?
Okay. Now or? Yeah, with a PGCE, I don't know every single country's requirements for teaching it in the world. I will say that as a disclaimer first, but some of them have visa requirements that are a minimum of a PGCE, qualification, and one of them listed is a PGCE.
Yeah.
So in China, still the visa requirements are the degree, the TEFL, the criminal record, but in other countries now, the minimum is a PGCE.
Wow.
So, and I mean, talking about the Middle East specifically.
Right.
And
so you just came back from Saudi Arabia, right?
I did, yeah.
Amazing. So how was it?
I love that country. It was my second trip, and I just learned so much. It's really exciting. Education specifically is really booming. There are a lot of international schools opening there. A lot. There's even plans for 2027 schools that are going in.
Amazing. Saudi Arabia, I'd love to go.
Yeah, come with me next time.
Done. That sounds a deal.
Yeah. No, it is a fantastic landscape for people that are, again, excited by opportunities. You know, nowhere is perfect. No school is even perfect. No one is perfect. And there are challenges. But if you want to get your teeth into something different and you want to make your mark and you want to experience a different culture, then for me, I was amazed and in awe of the people that are there. But again, you don't have to have a PGCE for the visa there, but the schools that are opening up are top international schools.
That's it.
From America, the UK, a lot from the UK and more. And that's what they're going to look for, and that's the principals I spoke to. It's the same thing. They just expect it. So yeah, and I know Malaysia as well, for example, you need a PGCE.
Yeah.
So it's what we said about opening doors. It's kind of you are then able to be a global educator.
The world is your oyster, as they say.
Your PGCE passport.
Yeah, your PGCE passport. Maybe then you might tick off some countries, but yeah, fantastic. So we got Malaysia, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Thailand, China, Korea. The list could just go on and on. Like I said, the world is your oyster. Where would you like to go?
Yeah, exactly. Where would you like to go?
Thank you so much, Rowena, for everything you guys do at Totally Teach.
No, it's a pleasure, Julian. Thank you so much.